Well, I think first and foremost, it's clear that democracy is under siege. Voter participation rates have plummeted. In the United States, certainly, there's real concern that money has seeped into the political process. Just 158 families were responsible for 50% of the political contributions to the presidency in 2016. And of course, lobbying has doubled in terms of amounts to over $3 billion today. But there are many other issues. There are concerns about credibility. People don't have faith in the political process, according to Pew, a think tank in the US. But also Freedom House has shown that political freedoms have been on the decline in the United States and across the world over the past decade. So this is essentially a crisis point, and we do need to figure out how to solve the democratic problems, of which I believe there are two. One is issues around legitimacy, so people are skeptical about the process itself. But then the second point is this issue of myopia. All the economic challenges that we face today, from debt to productivity declines to issues around technology and the jobless underclass and demographic shifts, are all long term, but the political system is very short term.
I know in the United States that some Republicans feel as though too many voters were brought into the system around Obama. When Obama was running for office, they made it much easier for some voters to get involved in the system, lots of online campaigns. So more voters who possibly wouldn't have voted before became engaged in the system. But that doesn't explain why Europe has ended up with a bunch of populace. The problem, though, is if you don't have widespread turnout at elections, there is a feeling that there's not a buy-in from the community. So if you're bringing about strong reforms, which I think a lot of people think are needed right now, economic reforms, structural reforms, then there's no buy-in from the community. So if you have this weighted voting, how do you ensure people actually want to pay tax in the country and believe in the system?
So I think, let me just clarify what weighted voting is, because I think one of the issues in the book is that I'm proposing 10 proposals, and people have honed in on weighted voting. Essentially, weighted voting is about ascribing or allocating higher weights for engagement. Already in the United States, if you're a super delegate in the Democratic Party, your vote counts more than an average delegate. Places like Switzerland and Canada are experimenting with whether or not, certainly in referenda, maybe not in general elections, you might have weighted voting, not necessarily ascribed based on IQ or education or any other adjective, race or land ownership. This is really about engagement. Already we have tests for immigrants. Myself coming to the United Kingdom or going to the United States, I am required as a foreigner to take a test in order to become a citizen. And that's essentially what we're trying to get at here. We need better engagement. As you are aware, and the day after the Brexit vote, there was lots of debate. I mean, I'm not entirely sure whether it was true or not, but a lot of debate as to whether or not this, the most Googled term after the Brexit vote was what is the EU? We cannot have a system where the fate of economies is hitched on voters that are not fully understanding of what the main salient issues are.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.